Pausing now for a real quick word from our proud title sponsor, Cisco. While you know Cisco is a leader in global food service, we want to highlight their commitment at the local level, doing good right here in your neighborhood. Because Cisco isn't just our partner, they also partner with nonprofit Feeding America, donated $1 million last year to help local families in need. And with their new groundbreaking location serving Allentown, Lehigh Valley, Poconos, and all neighboring areas, Cisco's impact in our community will continue to grow. Visit Cisco.com, that's SYSCO.com, to learn more. Cisco, at the heart of food and service.
Night Mayhem. I am your host, Cami. I'm here today with a special guest, but before I get to him, our regulars, my brother, Scott. No one's going to be able to hear, like, he waved, just so you know. It's the podcast and he waved.
I might as well wave. Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit. Yeah.
We have John Lupa.
Yes.
No.
Oh,
All right.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello,
And
everyone.
live at Morea right now, we have my friend, Taylor. Introduce yourself. Say hello. Who I called
Hello.
for a while, but we know his name is not Tyler, it is Taylor. And do a lot of people make that mistake just out of curiosity, or is it just me?
Just
Perfect. I think I have people, like all that kind of stuff. Like I have a friend named Leah and a friend named Leia, and it blows my mind. I get nervous every time I talk to them that I'm going to Leah or Leia them, but that's okay. That's just me.
It seems like the oil fields might have problems with remembering names. Is that true?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I am great about remembering conversations, right? Like when I do like matchmaking or coaching, like I am great about remembering and something about someone. So there'd be somebody who's like, okay, this is Mustache Man, or like there's a client I have with great legs, so I call her Legs. Like I'm good like that, but their actual names not as much. But I do have to get better at that because it is a very important skill. Names, if you go by Dale Carnegie, like yes, you have to know names. So I do have to get better. But that being said, I wanted to bring on our very special guest because we had a great conversation about the restaurant business, his journey to where he is now, but really just loving making dinners, filming it, connecting to what he's doing, and translating it in a way that's like fun to watch, always great music, which I really appreciate, some old school rap in the background, right? And but let you answer. Like I think that your journey started off in graphic design and like how that translates into making films or making videos about food. So take it away. Tell me a little bit about why this was a pull for you after getting into graphic design.
yeah, I mean, you're working with your hands, it's presentation skills. Something about design is real special because you're taking on things. And then I guess for me in that industry, the bigger I got, the less hands-on involved I was. I was much more of an overseer, and so I had to check myself. And now, food is something I've always done and wanted to go all in on it. And yeah, it's really literally and metaphorically biting off more than I can chew.
Yep.
The industry for real. So
Good question.
cuisine. Well, the thing is, like a bowl, any sort of bowl, you can quickly switch from like a Mediterranean to like Asian. I spent $200 on the fuzzy rice cooker, and like that changed my life. And so now it's just like, how well can I make the chicken, and then what type of veggies am I doing, different sauces. So I don't know. I mean, my favorite things to make are usually fried, but I usually tell people that because. But yeah, just any sort of vague bowl that I feel like told makes me.
So when you're filming yourself, like, I think a lot of us feel like, oh, we would love, this for some reason, the podcast feels natural to us. Like we're just like having a conversation. But I find like if I wasn't held accountable to like Scott and Lupa, like this is the when we podcast and this is when we like start our day. I don't know if I could film by myself. Like how do you lose yourself in the action of it? Like where you're filming yourself and like, do you get subconscious? Does it take a lot of takes?
No. Well, the good thing is when you're cooking, that's the constant variable. So you can't take second takes because if you burn something,
It's over.
it's over. So that's definitely. I'm someone who gets distracted easily. So when I'm focused on the food, the more that I shoot videos, the less aware I am. I guess that I just literally put up, I get a good view. The more patient I am, actually, I'll rearrange the camera, make sure the lighting's right instead of like rushing, just like, oh, just get it. It's like the more time you take with it and you're following your own journey, it's a little meta, but it's gotten easier over time. But obviously, there's still pressure to do so. You want to make good content. The algorithm is incredibly mean, but you just got to do your best. And when it comes to podcasts, you just have to love doing it. I guess that should be pushing.
How many cameras do you have?
Just one. I'll use my phone a lot more than just it's already in portrait mode, which is how I watch videos. Takes great quality, so I can't complain about that. I've shot in my DSLR before, which is the landscape, super wide, and I'll do some YouTube content for that. But that's like the files are much bigger. So, but it's usually just me and my camera, a little tripod, a mic, and yeah, chopping it up though is
The
actually
editing was very impressive.
I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
it's very clean. It's like transitions are really nice. How'd you get into that?
Well, what's funny is like reels are 90 seconds hard, so you have to like it forces you to cut out information that isn't totally necessary.
Right.
And, if I'm chopping an onion, even though I had a religious experience from chop 1 to chop 10, people don't really care about 2 of
Right.
those. So, or people only have the attention span to it. So, yeah, I mean, once you do that for every step of the process, as much as you want to include everything, it forces you to let go of your darlings and just focus on what's the most important. And then the timing of everything, when you watch it again and again, you're like, all right, this is overstaying as well done. This cuts out a little too quickly. So it's just a good feeling for it. I appreciate that sentiment.
This is interesting. Yeah, that's
You know what? I just shot one on Friday, and it's already ready to go. Pushed it to drive, upload it tomorrow, and anxiously wait for
Millions of views.
How many times a week?
now that I'm at the restaurant, I shoot once a week. And the thing is, I'm not even shooting for fun, I'm shooting meal prep at this point because I don't cook myself for a week. I can't eat restaurant food all day. So, before I would try something really crazy like a Big Mac taco, which does not stay very well the next day. But but that was like a viral thing. So, yeah, right now I'll go Fresh Market, which is in Chestnut Hill, which just get a bunch of good fresh stuff. And yeah, think about something that is different I haven't done before, and something that I'm craving, something I'm happy with, I could eat for 3-4 days potentially, and it also has some sort of visual prowess. So it's hopefully I can get wins across the board, but definitely the constant is just shooting every week. It forces you to focus on things that you wouldn't really pay attention to. Yeah, it's a good practice. It's good.
Where do most people find it? Like YouTube? What the best streaming service?
Instagram, I mean, everyone's on it. Thing is, I'm probably getting flushed out of the cycle for like something like Trump. I think that's probably more important than me making like not something. But for the people, I guess it's not really up to me. TikTok actually has a very friendly algorithm. Like it pushes it. I get compliments from people. Istanbul just saying like you're underrated. Like, you should be viral. I appreciate me too. I think so. but it's a very friendly community. And then YouTube, I only have a few long form videos on there. They're just take longer to make, but it's across the board. You can find me on any one of those. But what I really want to do is meet people in person, hopefully cook for more people in person, because social media it is what it is. But at the end of the day, what I really want to do is have the time following that people want to come.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a totally different world, right? Like, so it's because like we're so social media, everything's about social media, and you can get lost in it. Like, I actually find myself, like, if I'm looking at Instagram or I'm looking at TikTok, I don't like it, because the next thing you know, I've been like sucked in and I lost an hour of my life. But if I'm learning something like a recipe, then it feels like, oh, okay, then like I did something productive, rather than just, I have a tendency to like to watch the cartoon versions of people getting arrested while drunk. Like, have you ever seen any of those? Like, for some reason, that's the algorithm that comes up. Yeah. Either that, or like I get lots of dog videos. Like, I lose time. But actually coming away with a recipe sounds wonderful. And I think Lupe and Scott, like, you guys have, tried to do a lot of promotion with the restaurant, like through social media and film, and coming up with things like a lot of times it'll just be the sign and what the specials are. But it is interesting to have somebody who's able to like watch something go from ingredients to eating it in a very quick sequence, right? Like, I think what I like about one of the things that you do is I like you get that like chopping and the mixing or whatever it is, and then at the end I see you eating it, right? So that's all exciting and good and fun. Like, and you can tell that you like doing it.
Yeah, I love it. I was gonna say there's like two types of users that are watching your stuff. They're either, well, maybe three. Maybe they're just hungry, and it's like like a little food foreplay. They like to just watch stuff there.
That's
Speaking of foreplay, there's ASMR. People very big into like roasted garlic on toast and just hearing the crispiness and all the sounds of it. And then there's people who are genuinely interested in cooking and are looking for inspiration. And your time is important. And if it's a quick minute-long video that gives you a good sense of like start to finish, because the visual learning, as opposed to reading a recipe, for me personally, like I get lost in words when I watch a guy like binging like that, sure. MG, these guys who really show you from start to finish, like if you leave it for this long, like it will burn. This is how you use oil and butter and salt. And when you see it for yourself, it sticks in a different way and inspires you, and it gives you more confidence.
Yeah. I mean, it's also, when I talk to Lupe and Scott, and they'll chime in, and I know you also work at a restaurant, is that like in the atmosphere of a restaurant, it's so high paced, right? Like, and it's like there's not a lot of time to take in the moments of chopping and because you've got to get it out fresh for a customer right away. And I do like that it's just isolated just for you. But like Scott and Luba, have you guys ever like filmed the prep work or anything like that, just to show what goes into
We actually filmed a lot of catering. We do a lot of catering out of the lab shack. So we'll film some catering just to show that like what we do. I think
to be honest, Gaming too, there is some like chaos. We're trying to put together a big order, and deliveries are coming in, and there's in-house people, and a bartender's asking for to substitute this. So there's never that moment where you're really like where it looks good without a ton of editing.
Yeah,
like, it's always in motion.
Nothing, especially in Center City. It's not like we have a restaurant on like a side street in the suburbs.
Right.
I mean, every day there's something crazy that happens. I'm sure we're talking about it later.
Yeah.
We had an interesting one. I don't know if we want to talk about it right now, but we could talk about.
You can talk. It's great. That's the definition of this.
Well, this is just Center City.
Yeah.
Lupa, you want to tell the story?
Sure. So we have a couch outside with like
This was like 2 days ago.
a cushion.
Okay.
I was out there smoking a cigarette on it, and obviously not the looking like he was doing the best.
Not a customer.
Not a customer. Ashing all over himself, and then onto the cushion. I go and ask him, "Hey, bud, can you leave?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm leaving." Okay, come back out. He's still not gone. "Hey, buddy, you gotta go." So now it's like second time. "Hey, you gotta get out of there." I walk back inside. He's getting up. I come back out. He's got his Johnson out, peeing directly onto the couch.
Ooh. Okay. And
We
so,
by the way, we threw out those cushions.
The cushions are dead.
okay, yuck. And so then what? What do you do then?
Well, I didn't know what to do. I was just like,
What did you do?
That's Philly for you.
yeah.
So, like, do you call the police?
No. For what? I mean, you just peed on it. It goes like this. And
Hey,
Let's see if
we're
you're
gonna-
listening.
we're
And
gonna
now
call the
he
police on
gave
that.
me a finger. Yeah.
maybe
We're gonna call the police
12
on
minutes.
every 5 minutes.
Yeah. So
This is
so
serious.
okay.
And that's why this is organized mayhem. Because it's mostly mayhem.
Yeah. So like, because when I think about what Taylor does, I think of him as an artist, right? Like I feel like it's an artistry to filming and producing the food, and so then what gets in the way of artistry is a guy outside peeing on a couch. Right? Like, it kind of takes you away from the art of food back into the reality of owning a restaurant and being in a restaurant, which it does not have the same kind of isolated, and Taylor and I have talked about it, like in terms of what it's like to work in a kitchen, like when you're together and it's teamwork and it's everything is moving along like that, to being creative and getting that time and space, like to concentrate on something that you're lovingly preparing. Right. So it is different, but they have to, most food spaces are in restaurants. And I think like to make a business out of, what you do, Taylor, for sure, is like to be in a restaurant and helping somebody like pull together the life of a kitchen. I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but like to illustrate in this chaos, like our organized mayhem, in this there is a organizational part, which is the chopping, the dicing, the preparing, the lovingly creating a menu to, wanting to, and then it's just chaos.
Is there anything on that menu? I'm sorry to interrupt. Is there anything on the menu that you're working on right now that you have to do?
On that, we'll do specials. We'll do a burger special. Hey, let's put pimento on it. I'm like, oh, look at that. So like, but actually tomorrow I'm going to come in. I'm going to help with dessert ideas. But I don't know how much, what I'm going to be able to bring to the table there. I'm just going to talk about what I'm in the mood for. So, I was actually going to ask about you guys, like, how do you feel privacy wise, people coming in and shooting your information? Like, obviously, if you're doing catering order or there's someone pissing on your couch outside, like, you don't really have the time to film and shoot the way that I do, like when I'm at home. As much as we all want to capture the dicing, like, how do you feel about someone coming in and capturing like the ins and outs of your business? If you're like, you just want to do it more, is time more the constraint, or do you feel, as an owner, do you feel like there's like a bit of, hey, this is like what we're doing?
I think me and Scott honestly talked. You ever see the guy from Subway?
Oh yeah, they do it like corporate.
So we were talking about doing that, and then I don't know, it just never followed through.
Yeah, I like the idea of being a little bit more viral with how we do things and the thought process. I know Luke and I come up with new ideas for a new kind of changing the menu around a little bit, and that we want to just kind of show us like talking about it, how we talk about certain things, how we come up with the menu, how the tasting of it, like with making it and then tasting it, what we liked about it, what the flavor profile that we liked or didn't like. I think those are interesting things about the restaurant and the menu composition, because there's so many things that go into a menu, and then and then just figuring out, especially like, okay, well, we have too much of this kind of cuisine on, or that much cuisine, because just like anything, we get in our days where we're like, oh God, we wanted this dish is really good, and then all of a sudden we have an Asian fusion restaurant, or we have a taqueria restaurant. Like we get like neat vibes, and then we realize like, hey, we did too much of something. So it's that it's an interesting.
You got to give the famous story about Greek. like 2 weeks before Maria opened, I guess Sherry asked Scott what we are, and we had a bad menu tasting day. Like we were tasting all these things, and nothing was really working. He goes, I think I'm the Spicy Greek restaurant.
Yeah, like it just it's really you just get in these vibes. I'm sure like when you're cooking at your restaurant, you get in these like modes where like, oh, we're trying this, and then everything's really
Everything
good,
comes
and
up.
everything that's really good, and you're just like, oh wait, we just changed we're no longer an American cuisine, we're Italian or something like it just sometimes it happens, and in the end of the day, our job is just to make good food. That's how I look at it, and it doesn't matter what it is, and people like it. We're very appreciative. We like that, but it's just kind of like we also have to be careful and of what we are putting on the menu. We don't want to go too far to one side.
Well, to me is what I would like filmed, like that I find interesting. And like, Taylor, one of the things like I like watching about your video is sometimes when I cook, like I'm messy, right? Like I have everything like kind of looks messy and your area seems so clean and neat. So it's